Friends, what if I told you that the biggest lie you've been told your entire life is this? One day, everything will work out. One day you'll have more time. One day you'll have more money. One day you'll finally start chasing your dreams. One day you'll become the person you were meant to be. But what if that day never comes? Right now, somewhere in the world, someone with less talent than you is winning. Someone with fewer opportunities than you is building a better life. Someone with more problems than you is still moving forward. Why? Because they stopped waiting. They stopped waiting for permission. They stopped waiting for motivation. They stopped waiting for the perfect moment. And most importantly, they stopped waiting for someone to save them. The harsh truth is that nobody is coming. No superhero, no miracle, no perfect opportunity. No magical day when everything suddenly becomes easy. The life you want. The success you dream about. The future you imagine. It all depends on one person, you. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand why taking responsibility for your life is the most powerful decision you'll ever make. Because the moment you stop waiting to be rescued, you become unstoppable. Chapter 1. The dangerous trap of waiting. Most people don't fail because they're not talented. Most people fail because they're waiting. Waiting for motivation. Waiting for confidence. Waiting for support. Waiting for luck. Waiting for the right moment. And while they're waiting, life keeps moving. Think about it. How many dreams have died because someone said, "I'll start tomorrow." Tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next month. Next month becomes next year. And before they know it, years have passed. The sad part is that many people spend their entire lives waiting for a moment that never arrives. They think success begins when circumstances improve. But successful people know something different. Success begins the moment you decide to act despite your circumstances. You see, waiting feels comfortable. Waiting feels safe. Because as long as you're waiting, you never have to risk failure. You never have to face rejection. You never have to confront your fears. But comfort has a hidden price. Every day you stay inside your comfort zone, you're trading your future for temporary safety. And that's a terrible deal. The truth is that nobody becomes successful accidentally. Nobody wakes up one morning with confidence. Nobody suddenly feels ready. Confidence comes after action, not before it. Think about every successful person you've ever admired. They were scared. They were uncertain. They doubted themselves. But they moved anyway. While everyone else was waiting for certainty, they were taking action. And action changed everything. Maybe you're waiting right now. Waiting to start a business. Waiting to go to the gym. Waiting to learn a skill. Waiting to change your life. But let me ask you something. How much longer are you willing to wait? Another month? Another year? Another decade? Because life doesn't pause while you're deciding. The clock keeps ticking. Every sunrise is a reminder that time is moving forward. And time is the one thing you'll never get back. Money can be recovered. Mistakes can be corrected. Failures can become lessons. But lost time is gone forever. That's why the most successful people in the world value time more than anything else. They understand that every day matters. Every hour matters. Every decision matters. And that's why they refuse to wait. They start before they're ready. They start before they feel confident. They start before they have all the answers. Because they understand a powerful truth. Action creates clarity, not the other way around. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a first step. You don't need certainty. You need courage. You don't need permission. You need responsibility. The moment you realize that nobody is coming to save you, everything changes. Because suddenly excuses lose their power. Blame loses its power. Fear loses its power. You stop looking outward for solutions, and you start looking inward. That's where real transformation begins. Not when your circumstances change. Not when someone helps you. Not when life becomes easier. But when you decide that your future is your responsibility, and only yours, because at the end of the day, nobody is coming, and that's not bad news. It's the most empowering truth you'll ever hear, because if nobody is coming to save you, then nobody can stop you either. Chapter 2. The day you stop blaming, your life changes. There comes a moment in every successful person's life when they realize something most people never understand. The world is not coming to rescue them, and the world does not owe them anything. At first, that sounds harsh, but it's actually one of the most liberating truths you'll ever hear, because the moment you stop blaming everything around you, you finally gain the power to change your life. Most people spend years blaming. They blame their parents, they blame their boss, they blame the economy, they blame bad luck, they blame their past. And while they're busy blaming, nothing changes. Think about it. Maybe some of those things are unfair. Maybe life has been harder for you than it has been for others. Maybe you've faced obstacles that nobody else can see. But here's the truth. You cannot control what happened to you. You can only control what happens next. And that's where your power lives. The victim mindset says, "Why is this happening to me?" The ownership mindset says, "What am I going to do about it?" One question creates excuses, the other creates solutions, and successful people are obsessed with solutions. When they fail, they don't blame, they learn. When they lose, they don't complain, they adapt. When life gets hard, they don't quit. They grow stronger, because they understand that responsibility is power. The moment you take responsibility for your life, you stop being a passenger, you become the driver. Imagine two people facing the exact same challenge. One person says, "This isn't fair." The other person says, "This is my responsibility." 5 years later, their lives look completely different. Not because one had better luck, but because one took ownership. Ownership changes everything. Ownership changes how you think, how you act, how you respond to failure, how you respond to fear. Because when you truly accept responsibility, you stop asking, "Who will help me?" And you start asking, "What can I do today?" That's a powerful shift, because every successful life is built one responsible decision at a time. One workout, one chapter read, one skill learned, one uncomfortable action, one difficult conversation, one courageous step. The problem is that responsibility feels heavy at first, but what most people don't realize is that blame is even heavier. Blame keeps you stuck. Responsibility moves you forward. Blame steals your future. Responsibility creates your future. And that's why the most successful people on earth don't waste energy blaming circumstances. They focus on what they can control: their attitude, their effort, their discipline, their decisions, their actions. Because those things determine your future far more than your circumstances ever will. The day you stop blaming, the day you stop making excuses, the day you stop waiting for someone else to fix your life, is the day your transformation begins. Because nobody is coming. And that's exactly why you must become stronger. You must become wiser. You must become more disciplined. You must become the person capable of creating the life you want. And once you accept that responsibility, nobody can take that power away from you. Chapter 3. Become your own hero. Most people spend their lives looking for a hero. Someone to guide them, someone to rescue them, someone to show them the way. But the truth is, the hero you've been waiting for has been staring back at you in the mirror this entire time. You. The strongest people in the world aren't the people who never struggle. They're the people who keep moving despite their struggles. They're the people who get up after failure, the people who continue after rejection, the people who keep going when nobody believes in them. That's what makes a hero. Not perfection, persistence, not talent, discipline, not luck, responsibility. Every great success story begins the same way. A person decides to take control of their life. That's it. That's the moment everything changes. Because before that moment, They're reacting to life. After that moment, they're creating life. And that's what I want for you. I want you to stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances. I want you to stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for confidence. Stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for the perfect time, because the perfect time does not exist. The people you admire weren't ready. They simply started. And every step they took made them stronger. Every challenge made them wiser. Every failure made them tougher. The same can happen for you, but only if you move, only if you act, only if you take responsibility. Imagine yourself 1 year from today. Imagine the strongest version of yourself. More disciplined, more confident, more successful, more focused. That version of you is real. But there's only one way to meet that person. You must earn it. Day by day, decision by decision, action by action. Nobody can do it for you. Nobody can walk the path for you. Nobody can fight your battles for you. That's your responsibility. And that's your opportunity. Because when you stop depending on others, you discover how powerful you truly are. When you stop waiting to be saved, you learn how to save yourself. When you stop looking for heroes, you become one. So today, make a decision. A real decision. Decide that your future belongs to you. Decide that your dreams belong to you. Decide that your success belongs to you. And most importantly, decide that from this moment forward, you will no longer wait for someone else to change your life. You will change it yourself. Because nobody is coming to save you. And once you truly understand that, you become unstoppable. You become fearless. You become responsible. You become powerful. And that is the moment your new life begins. Thank you for watching. If this message spoke to you, remember this one sentence every morning. Nobody is coming to save me. Therefore, I will save myself. Now go build the life you deserve.